Well, folks, big things happening in the markets right now. We've got major moves now. Bitcoin making a move, the stocks, SP 500 and NASDAQ making a move. This is essential for this blow off top that I've been talking about to continue. And also one of the coins that I used to talk about has now potentially is going to now list on Binance. And this is going to be huge. It's one of those obvious plays. It's now being listed on Binance Alpha, which is the first step you do before you eventually list it on onto Binance. Now, the other thing is another coin that I spoke about just went ballistic, went up 30x. That's Alpaca Finance, and that's also on Binance as well. Do we want to have a quick look at where the market is at right now? Very interesting, very crazy times, right? So Bitcoin right now, as I'm making this video, is at 97K. And that's not really the big surprise here. So I've said all along that Bitcoin could get all the way up to 97K before turning down to something like 88 to flush out all the take out all the shorts first, then take out all the longs. But right now it looks like Bitcoin can go even a little bit higher. Why is that? Because look, right now everything is still green. Everything is still green on futures funding rates. What does that mean? That means people are still shorting. There's way more shorts than there are longs. So people are still shorting, so exchanges are going to keep on squeezing. So it looks like Bitcoin can actually still squeeze a little bit higher, maybe 98, 99K before it turns down and flirt with this 91.6 key support line again. If it goes to like 88.5, it would freak everyone out. Just a wick down. Everyone thinks bear market has come again. Panic sell, takes out all the longs, all the leverage longs, and then bounce. So why am I still bullish on the markets right now? It's because of something that I told you guys a long time ago, right? But before we get to that, first, let's answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo Jimenez use? Well, Pablo uses an exchange that is non-KYC. That means you don't need to show any ID. So that means the exchange can't even see who you are. And of course, Americans can use it. Anybody can use it. And that means the IRS can't see you. The tax office can't see you. FBI, CIA, nobody can see you. So over 8,000 US dollars of newbie prizes just for my followers to join and start trading. Over 1.3 million global users, the largest non-KYC exchange in the world right now, and fastest growing exchange in the world right now. But remember, this is only on the Pablo Jimenez link here. So if you're watching on YouTube, then the link is in the description below. The link is in the description below. But if you're watching on another platform, such as this one, right? If you're watching on exchanges like platforms like this one, then basically just go to my profile page, click on the profile, and then click on the stand link right here. It should be the first deal that pops up because this is a great deal to have. I'm putting a lot of focus on it. So, and remember, folks, this is only on the Pablo Jimenez link, only on the Pablo Jimenez link. Okay, let's get back to the markets. So, Bitcoin is making this move because, look at this, the SP 500 is doing well right now. And this has, I don't like the shape it is making right now. On this Thursday afternoon, it's making kind of a topping tail. But let me just show you guys the monthly close. I suppose that it can pull back now because we've had a great monthly close. Actually, this is the monthly close. So, monthly close, ideally, I would like it to be in the green at 557, but it closed just underneath at 554, so only 3 points under. That is still a major bottoming tail, so I'm expecting a bounce up. It could wick down a little bit, like go into the wick a little bit, right? Like that, and then go up. Now, one thing to keep in mind is basically on the daily, it looks like we're probably going to get a pullback. Why is that? Because we have a major resistance level here, and also this green channel is hit the top of the channel. So this looks like a small topping tail. So after such a ferocious bounce up, probably a pullback, something like this, right? I'd be surprised if it gets to 523, but it's possible. And then probably something like 540, 539, and then bounce up. So if SP 500 does that, then Bitcoin's obviously gonna chances that pull back as well. Probably a little bit more short squeeze on the on Bitcoin, like get to 98, even 99K, and then go down and flirt with that 92K again. Okay, so what is the news that? What is the coin that I'm going to be talking about today? Well, the coin that is Binance is considering listing because they've just put it onto Binance Alpha is called Shadow Exchange. That's one of the coins that are analyzed along with SwapX. These are the top two dexes on the Sonic chain. Sonic is actually just Phantom chain, but it's been upgraded. It's a new launch. So just before we get to that, let's share another coin that I've been used to talk about, and it's basically this crazy coin called Alpaca. All right, just quickly look at Alpaca. What a crazy run. So people in my Discord got this call around 20 cents, and then obviously went down because of the mini bear market we've just been in, and then this is the traction of crypto. It went from like 4 cents up to $1.20 in a matter of 3 days, right? And I know a bunch of guys in my Discord sold at around 50, 70 cents, 80 cents, even $1. So making like 5x on the original investment, and then now it's crapping out. Mainly because Alpaca is getting delisted. That's right, you heard it right. Delisted on Binance. And so when it's getting delisted, short sellers pile in and they want to short what seems to be an obvious easy short like this. And but what happens is actually basically that it just someone decided to short squeeze because it was so tiny, the market cap was so small, like just used a couple of $1 million to short squeeze the hell out of it, and made like a 30x run. Okay, so happy trading, guys. Let's talk about the shadow exchange. That is Binance putting it on Binance Alpha. Does not 100% guarantee it will eventually list on Binance, but you can see the power of Binance. I just showed you guys 30x move just then. But however, it means that Binance has noticed this coin, it's putting it on display and asking people to vote. And there's a very good chance it could get listed on Binance. So that's something very special. That's kind of like being invited to the to the finals, to the NBA playoffs, right? You have a shot at getting into to play in the championship game, so to speak. Let's have a look at this coin called Shadow Exchange, and what do we think of it? First of all, last time I analyzed it, I compared Shadow Exchange to SwapX. Now, notice the TVL. Shadow Exchange, 73 mil. SwapX, 50 mil. Last time I said I would prefer SwapX. Now, why is that? Because Shadow Exchange was 2x, twice as big as SwapX. Last time I looked at it, about 6 weeks ago. Now, it is only about 50% bigger, right? Last time the ratio here was 2 to 1. Now it's only like 1.5 to 1. So SwapX is growing and catching up to Shadow Exchange. So here's Shadow Exchange. Remember that it's TVL, total value locked, it's 73 million at the moment. Why? So this is why sometimes, the price goes down because Sonic's gone down, everything's gone down, Solana's gone down, Bitcoin's gone down in the last few weeks before this bounce. But look at this. This is why I like SwapX better than Shadow Exchange, even now with the listing on Binance. So it basically had a TVL 6 weeks ago around 161 million. Now it's lost more than half of that, right? It's lost like 53% of its total TVL. It's down to 73 million right now. 73 million, but look at its market cap and fully diluted valuation. It's 154 million. So its FDV is twice as high as its TVL, right? So that's not very healthy. Well, part of the reason for that is because it shot up today 66%, and that's due to the Binance listing news. Before that, it was more like at 28 cents, 30 cents. So that was more at like 80 mil. So it was more at 80 mil FDV in the morning before this news got announced, which would come close to the 73 mil TVL. That would make more sense. But right now, very much overvalued. I continue to like SwapX. I compared both exchanges last time, and I said I like SwapX. I'll show you guys why I like SwapX. So this is the Sonic chain. SwapX was the number 2 DEX on this ecosystem. So just for comparison, SwapX, the relationship between Shadow Exchange and SwapX is kind of like if you were comparing on Solana chain, if you were comparing the top 2 DEXs there, which is on Ethereum would be Uniswap and Sushi, but there's a big difference between the two. But on Solana, it will be Radium and Jupiter. Radium, remember, was dominating and Jupiter was small. But now if you look at the TVL and the trading volume, Jupiter has overtaken Radium, right? I'm very surprised. The TVL on Jupiter is like more than twice as large as a Radium. Probably because Radium is glitchy and people can't make trades all the time. They trades just doesn't get executed. People get very frustrated. Somehow the trades go through on Jupiter. Maybe that's the reason why. So I'm just showing you guys that there's always the chance that the number 2 exchange can leapfrog the number 1 exchange. So let's have a look at SwapX. And first of all, what I like about SwapX is this. You folks would probably remember that the TVL, total value locked on Shadow Exchange has gone down more than 50%. From remember how it went down from 161 mil to 73 mil, like more than 50%. It's more than halved. But look at in the same time frame, look at SwapX. It's only gone up even during the bear market. Remember how Bitcoin went from 109K all the way down to 74K, right? Whilst that's happening, SwapX is actually growing. SwapX is actually growing, right? It went from what? Let's say compare start of Feb, this is 24 mil to a height of 65 mil. So that's 1.5x gain, like 2.5x gain, and now pulled back a little to 50x. That's still a solid 2x gain. It's gained. So in the same amount of time, Shadow Exchange has gone down more than 50%, while SwapX has gone up in TVL of slightly more than 50%. What a difference. It's like night and day. And get this. Total value locked is 50 mil right now. 50 mil. But SwapX market cap is less than 3 mil, even with a 16% move today. And also, it was like 10 mil earlier before this 16% jump today. So 10 mil fully diluted value for a coin that has 50 mil in US dollars, right? And it's been growing fast as well. It has momentum, it's growing, has only 50 mil in total value locked. So I have to say that I think SwapX coin, from a fundamental point of view, it's way cheaper, way more undervalued than Shadow Exchange, and it's catching up to Shadow Exchange as well. I think Binance is making a mistake here. Now, Binance is basically, they don't care. They're so big. They just want to list the leader. They just want to list the market leader in every category. So they're not considering SwapX right now. And SwapX made a move up today. We saw Shadow Exchange jump up 65%, and SwapX jump up 15%, because it's like Radium, as I keep saying, Sushi and Uniswap, or Radium and Jupiter, they are in competition with each other. So basically, what's good for one is also good for the other, because that means Binance is highlighting and bringing attention to the Sonic decentralized exchange system, and that's going to cause all the other big exchanges, the top tier exchanges, to all notice the big players on Sonic Chain as well. So I continue to like SwapX. I think Shadow will do fine, but SwapX is the undervalued gem in my book. Okay, thank you guys for tuning in. Catch you guys next episode. And none of this is financial advice. Bye bye.